Hi class, hi class, 9D. Welcome to 9D. I'm, as you already know, your class teacher, and you know my name as well. And very soon I'll be able to identify you all by your names. Uh, you have come to class 9, and all we expect out of you is to maintain decorum and we remain like a family. Uh, and be safe, avoid going out of homes, uh, take care of social distancing, spend time with family, that is very important, that we don't get when regular schedule is there. I know the busyness you people are going through. History and civics I'll be teaching you, and you shall maintain a single register for both of them. I'll just take one more minute, then I'll start the chapter. Mm, History till now, you had been, I presume, 6th, 7th, 8th, you have been studying ancient, medieval, and modern history, mainly concentrated in India. But in 9th and 10th, you'll be studying world history, the contemporary and the old world history. So entire 9th history, entire 10th history is world history that is bifurcated into medieval and modern worlds. And this type of history, it's not only political history, it's social history. And one thing to add, social science, all the four subjects are very, very, very interesting. And we assure you that all the teachers are giving their best. So take due advantage of the same and learn the subjects well. In history, I'll be starting with the first chapter today, and that is the French Revolution. We all know where the country France is. France is in Europe. It's adjacent to Germany, Poland, and on the western side, United Kingdom. There's a strait that divides both of them. That is called, you should be knowing it, it's a geographical term, which strait or bay or water body divides them. Okay, I'll tell you, it's called English Channel, that divides Britain, that is United Kingdom, and France. Now, let us come to the word revolution. There are three words which are interchangeably used like synonyms, but they aren't. So, till you are now grown up enough to understand the meaning, to use actual adjectives for nouns. Alright? So, initially we used transferable epithet. We could use any adjective, but now we have to be very careful in words and terms when you're going to appear in boards next year. The first word is mutiny. Mutiny means when the armed forces in a country stage an uprising against their own government. When the army, navy, air force, the military stands up against their own government, that is called a mutiny. Now, when the civilians join that mutiny, it is called a revolt. Right? But that is, both are against government. So what they want is a change in the policies and the orders of the government, that the government should consider their demands and change their viewpoint. Now, what is a revolution? A revolution is a complete change in the system itself. A revolution does not aim at mending a system or making it better. It does not want any change. It wants the system to go altogether and a new system shall come in. So mutiny and revolt aim at some changes in a system. The system may continue. But the revolution aims at getting rid of the system altogether and a new system shall replace it. I'll give an example to make you understand this topic better. If there's a problem in your locality, in your area, you go talk to people, try to solve it, but you remain in that area, it is equivalent to mutiny or revolt. But if you decide, I will not stay in that area or locality anymore, I'm shifting to another place, I'm leaving it altogether, then it is a revolution. So revolution is a complete change. Now, complete change in what? Complete change in thoughts, complete change in celebrations, complete change in system, complete change in economic, political, social, religious activities. Everything changes. Then only we may say that a revolution has come. So a revolution means a complete change. Now, I'll talk about, I'm coming to France, and first of all, I would like to clear one query that you can't make right now, but I can make out because I had taught ninth in the past. So many of the people, even I'm not saying about you, many of the people who are doing masters or MPhil or PhD even, they are unclear that they say that democracy took birth in France. No, it's incorrect. Democracy started with an event called Magna Carta in 1215 Anno Domini AD in England. So, if any question, see why I'm telling you all this. My aim of teaching you history or any subject is not to let you pass class 9. My aim is that even if after your class 12 or any time in your life, when you come through any entrance test, you confront any MCQ, any entrance, any examination, this is a vital part. Contemporary world history is a vital part of it. And I am slowly preparing you for future as well. So understand each and every topic well so that there is no doubt. Okay? We may have 2 3 classes on a chapter, no problem. But we will not rush. That is the main thing. So in 1770s, mid 1770s, a new king took over the reign of France, and he was called Louis XVI. Right, Louis XVI, and he was married to an Austrian princess called Marie Antoinette. So Louis XVI and Mary were the king and queen of France at the time of the revolution. Now, how can you imagine? You can just imagine if there is a problem going on the road outside your home, would your parents allow you to go out? No, they won't. They'll ask you to stay back. What happened? What situations or conditions or circumstances might have happened that made men, women, children, old, young, rich, poor, everybody come on road, irrespective of their social standing, irrespective of their monetary standing, irrespective of their thoughts, they all came on roads and they were prepared to die. So when this kind of a situation comes, a revolution occurs. And what made this situation happen in France, that I'm going to discuss with you right now. Louis XVI was a very, very lethargic, uh, inaccessible king who didn't care for the janta or the public. And his wife Mary was 2 steps ahead of him in this. And if in higher standards, when we read history books, it is Mary is called a beautiful woman with an empty head. So Mary is said like that. So the rule of France was in not so good hands at the time of in between in 1780s. This revolution took place in 1789. Right. Now, when Louis XVI acceded the throne of France, the treasure was empty. There was no money because everything was being used on war. The treasure was empty. So new taxation had to be put to fill up the treasure because Louis XVI also wanted war. So he was a very war-loving person. Secondly, there was a lot of poverty, illiteracy in France, and the people weren't able to afford their daily essentials, the necessities even. Three, king and queen led a very lavish life. When the people were dying of starvation, they didn't even have a loaf of bread to feed them. The king and queen were spending millions of francs on their daily lifestyle. The people saw and they got angry. Uh, there were a lot of other needs which the government faced, but the money wasn't there. So new taxations were recurrent, and people were fed up of that. The French society in that era was divided into three sections, and these three sections were called three estates. The first estate, the highest one, was made up of clergy. Clergy means priestly class. Like we have Maulana, we have Pandit, we have Pope and bishops. So the class of priests, bishop, etc. It is called the clergy. The second estate, below the first estate, in importance, was nobility. Nobility means king, queen, their officials, uh, members of their court, what you call darbari. They constituted the second estate, and the third estate belonged to the common people. The common people meant business people, artisans, craftspeople, peasants, and agriculturists, and all those people. Now, 90% of the population belonged to the third estate, and only 10% belonged to the first and second estate. But on the contrary, and ironically, 90% of the wealth of France was owned by first and second estate. The 10% population owned 90% of the resources, and the 90% of the people, those who belong to third estate, had only 10% of the resources. So the life of the third estate was very difficult, very tough. So what happened in late 1980s? Louis XVI wanted to wage wars, and for that he wanted to enact some new tax. So he called a meeting, and that meeting is called that meeting of the three estates, and that is called National Assembly. Sometimes we call General Assembly, sometimes we call National Assembly. Right. So the National Assembly, it was type of an enclosed area, like a stadium, an arena, right, where the first estate and the second estate people used to sit, and the third estate people used to stand up, like the stadium. Like the stadium, like first estate is sitting, second estate is sitting, and the third estate people are standing. And all of them had one vote. Now, be very clear with this. This is a confusing topic. First estate had one vote. There might be 5 members of first estate or 10 members of first estate. That does not matter. The entire first estate had one vote. The entire second estate had one vote, and the entire third estate had one vote. Now, whatever, and one more thing I just want to tell you, that the taxes were paid by the third estate, and first and second estate were free and not obligated to pay any tax. So any taxation that was levied on the public was for the third estate. The first and second estate did not pay any tax. So any new tax could be levied. First and second estate did not lose anything out of that. Now that made the things problematic. That there was demand by the third estate that instead of giving one vote to each estate, let us give one vote to each person. Now it made the thing problematic. Say, 10% are first and second estate, as I already told you, 90% are third estate. So if one vote is given to every person, So 10%, it would be 10% versus 90%. And always the third estate would win. Right. So king and the first and second estate did not approve it. And the third estate just made a walkout and did not attend the meeting. When they walked out, the place where they gathered outside that arena was a tennis court, lawn tennis court. They assembled there and discussed and started framing their own constitution as they wanted the king to be answerable to the people, the clergy to be answerable to the people, because the state, the country, is being run on the money of the third estate, taxation, so they should have a say in the ruling as well. This third estate group that gathered in the tennis court sent five of its representatives to the king's court to inform them about their decision. King, Louis XVI, instead of entertaining them, ordered to arrest them. Now, they ran, and this phrase in history is called, and the birds flew away. The birds, five people, flew away. They ran away from the king's court and reached the tennis court. Again, now they informed the people of the third estate in the tennis court that we tried our level best. We talked, we conversed, we told everything to the king, but the king isn't ready to listen to us. And now we should do something constructive. And what was constructive? An uprising. An uprising of the people to change the system. Not to change the king, that has been a revolt. To change the system. To change the system means to bring down monarchy, the rule of the king, and establish people's rule that we later will call democracy. Though it was not actual democracy. Only few people had tried to vote later, but I'll call it today democracy. So, the first thing they did, they went to the fort of Bastille. That was a fort that was used as a prison, and just broke into the prison and asked the prisoners that if they are able and they just agree to be with the third estate, they will get them freed. And the prisoners said, yes, we are with you. No problem, sir. And there was a massive arms and ammunition arsenal in the basement of that jail. They looted it and they came on road. This started the French Revolution. This uprising, this coming out, is called French Revolution in the history. Right. Now, the circumstances also went against Louis XVI and Mary. Severe winters came. All the harvest was destroyed. All the rice and barn and corn agriculture was destroyed. And people were starving. And when they were starving, the king and queen didn't even at that time try to appease or make the people happy and bring down the revolution. And they were enjoying their life like before, and the people were dying on road. I can remember one dialogue of Mary, when somebody told Mary that, ma'am, people, children, women, men are dying of starvation. They don't have bread. She made an ironical and sarcastic remark. If they don't have bread, let them eat cake. So this was the mindset of the king and queen. They didn't even realize that this is not a small thing, and the entire France has come under one flag of the revolutionaries, and now the times are very bad. In 1992, though the king agreed to the demands of revolutionaries, but the revolutionaries now did not want any king or monarchy. They wanted republic. Republic means a country where the head of the state, head of the country, is elected, not nominated or hereditary. Right? Like we have a republic, our president is chosen. United States of America is a republic, so the president of the United States of America is chosen. That is elected. So there was a group of people called Robespierre. Sorry, the leader was Robespierre. The group was called Jacobin Club. Jacobin Club was the the main club, the main organization, political and revolutionary organization of the third estate that wanted to bring down the king. They did not want anything from the king, any concessions from the king. They wanted the king to go. That's it. And that is why we call it a revolution. If they had allowed king to make a change, it would have been a revolt. But they didn't want king altogether. They wanted to get rid of king, get rid of monarchy altogether and bring democracy, people's rule over there. People's rule means the rule of the third estate. Right? So Robespierre and his people just raided the palace of king in Paris and then Versailles, imprisoned him and guillotined him. That is, sentenced to death. So King Louis XVI and Mary both were killed. And the rule of France came in the hands of Jacobins. Now Jacobins led a reign of terror. A reign of terror from 1792 to 1794, and that reign of terror means all the people who belonged to first estate and the second estate were killed. They were made political prisoners. The political people were assassinated. They were killed. They were hanged. They were sent to remote places. Means Robespierre, who was representing the third estate, just got the first and the second estate people wiped out, cleaned them from France, and a new government was established in France under Robespierre. That was a republic. So the monarchical government of Louis XVI transformed into a republican government of Jacobin Club with the leader Robespierre. So Robespierre was the first republican leader of free France, revolutionized France. Right. Now, the women played a very great part in this revolution. And one thing you have to be sure, and I want to tell you, this is a very, very important thing that I want to convey, that not all people got right to vote even after the revolution. Only some percentage of working rich people got the right to vote. The poor people and the women did not have the right to vote even under the Robespierre government. So the women played massive role in the revolution. They laid down their lives, they worked hard, they left their family and children, got out on roads and fought, but they were not given the right to vote. So various women's clubs were established in France that was pressurizing the Jacobin Club to give equal voting rights to women. But alas, that was not given until very late. So it was in very late, I think 1893 or 96, that New Zealand became the first country to grant equal voting rights to women. Some philosophers and political scientists played a very, very vital role. Montesquieu, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Voltaire. These are the three people who made great contribution to this revolution. They wrote books. They started telling people that democracy is your fundamental right. Democracy is the natural right. Democracy is the thing that you're born with. Jean-Jacques Rousseau even wrote in his book Social Contract that man was born free but is everywhere in chains. So these social scientists, political scientists, these thinkers gave the people the boost, the push to fight, go ahead and fight. Right, so it became very important. So the people learned that, okay, we are on the right track and we have to fight. So the French Revolution was the revolution of the common people against the king, though still after the revolution, the common people could not get the right to vote or play equal part in the governance. The time from 1784 to 1804, 10 years, is the time of turmoil. The workers wanted employment, from the new Robespierre government. Women wanted universal suffrage, that is, equal voting rights. The business people wanted less taxation and government support in business. Uh, the agriculturists and the peasants wanted more and more subsidies from Robespierre government, and the people, small part of nobility and clergy that supported the third estate wanted the people to give them some money so that they can restart their lives. So, in nutshell, Robespierre had to face many, many, many problems between 1792 to 1804. Right. So, but in name, France remained a republic, though it was a virtual dictatorship of Robespierre and the Jacobin Club. But in name to say, France became a republic. Republic, I'll again explain. Republic is a country where the head of the state is elected and not nominated or hereditary. Now, women played their role, workers played their role, peasants played their role, thinkers played their role, and this all happened and in the French Revolution in the chapter 1. These things that I've explained you right now might be explained in many pages in your book. So it's my earnest request that when you are through with watching this video, just go and flip off your pages of the book, or you can bring the book right away with this video. You can flip and see that what other things are there, so that because in this video, in a 30 minutes odd video, the entire chapter, each line cannot be covered. But I have taught you sufficient so that now you understand what does French Revolution mean, who was Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, Jacobin Club, Robespierre, Rousseau, Voltaire, and Montesquieu. So you know the basics, and this is what would help you after this video. You'll be very, very clear when you'll be reading book with this. And later on, I'll try to support you with some notes and supplementary material as well. Why I'm saying 1804? Because in 1804, France again became a monarchy. I'm 100% sure that you have been acquainted with this name before. A person named Napoleon Bonaparte took over the throne of France. He got rid of the Jacobin Club and the Republican government because people were fed up from the Robespierre government as well, and they thought that there's no difference between the Republican government of Robespierre and the monarchical government of Louis XVI. So they welcomed Napoleon Bonaparte in 1804, and he brought a lot of positive, wonderful, brilliant changes, right, in France and all the areas of Europe that he later annexed, like Civil Code of 1804 and many other things. And I'm not going in detail because this you'll be studying next year in chapter 1 of history. So there's no point going to that topic, right? So this in nutshell was the French Revolution that I've discussed with you. Now it's my earnest request to listen to me and watch this video once, twice, thrice, understand the basics of a revolution and the French Revolution. Then go to your book, NCRT books, just read the chapter once, and then I'm 100% sure that you'll be learning the things well. So I'll be taking your doubts later. So all for now. Stay safe, stay at home, stop going out, but never stop learning, right? We teachers are always with you and for you forever. God bless you all. Have a nice day. Bye.